going to make corn husk dolls today. And this is an example, another, and some more, and one with an outfit. Corn husk dolls are an easy project, great to do at Thanksgiving time. Corn husks seem to be available pretty much in the produce section of your store at this time of year. I think we're making a lot of tamales. So they just come in a bag. I don't know, they're probably $3 and there's a heck of a lot of them in there. I use, when I make them, your first thing is you're gonna need to soak your corn husks. So I got a big bowl and had them soak and turn them over every now and then. Because if you don't soak them first, they're just brittle little, you can hear that, you know, that's not too good to work with. So if you soak them, they're much more pliable, user-friendly, no snapping, no popping. And I usually start with 6 corn husks per doll. And that's one thing right there, doll. A lot of times I call them people. Sometimes we've even made them into trolls, so they had big heads. Because it seems if I say the word doll, I lose a lot of my population. So I try to come up with another word for that. Okay, back to this. We need about 6 of these. 1, 2, and then we're going to just stack them together. The same ends to the same ends, so skinny ends all together, and the wider ends at the opposite end. 1, 2, 3, and if they're, you know, all lay the same way too, that's good. You don't have to do any fancy laying out. All right, and there's 6 of those. Now, here's another thing. If you're going to be doing it with your students and you want to be prepared and ready to go, if you have some string or some twine or some yarn or some raffia, whatever you might have will work to tie these with. I have this brownish string, and so it looks pretty earthy and natural, so that's what I'm going to go with. But we're going to need to pre-cut some of these so everybody can be tying off. And so you're going to need 1 for a head, 1 for a body, 2 for arms, and if you make legs, 2 for the legs, and maybe 1 right underneath the arms, so 1 more. So, you know, if you gave everybody 6 pieces of cut tying material, that would be great. You know, and if you guys, if the kids are younger and it's harder to tie, a little bit more rope, string, whatever you're using would be good. All right, so here we go. Here's my nice stack of damp corn husks. And the first step after cutting your string, so you're ready, is to, what am I going to do? I'm going to put these together like this, and then I'm going to tie that first string right around there. All right. Woo. I hope everyone's having a good day, enjoying fall weather. It's a fall project, I think. All right, so now all I've done is just tied them together at the top. And I came down, what, about 2 inches maybe? Yeah. So then, step 1. Next step is to find kind of your ends here, and you just want to go in like 3 deep so you have an even amount on each side. And it doesn't have to be even. I mean, if you use 7, that would be all right. But I did it with an even amount, so I'm going to find my middle right about there. And then I'm going to pull them apart down to that string, and then I'm going to put that inside of those husks like that. So now it's hidden, but you can kind of feel it in there. And that's what's going to create the head to our corn husk doll. So next we're going to tie that off. One more tying time. And you can see right about here that somebody might need an extra hand holding that down. I wouldn't be surprised by that. Even though all of my students did very well with it when we made them, so that was good. So then there's a head like that, and one of my children all thought that they looked more like voodoo dolls, so that was exciting to them. They were going to go home and scare their siblings. Fun times, fun times. All right, so now we have that tied on there pretty good. Great. So there we are. That is all we've done. Now the next step is to make some arms for it. So you're going to take another corn husk. And what I found yesterday, it was very sweet. One of the boys made one, and so we're going to take it long ways, and we're going to just roll it up. And then you'll see that one end is going to probably be a little bit more muscular, and this is going to be not quite as muscular. So he went ahead and wrapped another end around that end, which, made good sense. So then you're going to take your corn husk doll, and you can find that center again. Now it looks like a clamp. And we're just going to insert that into there. And we're going to push it up as high as you can. There we go, like that. And now, they're kind of out, and that'll work out. And then we're going to put another tie right underneath to hold those arms in place. And then I try to make all of my knots on the one side, right? So it's all to the back. Unless you want to look at your knots, then you can put them all to the front. It is your corn husk person. All right. So now we've got some really big arms right there. So you can just snip those off to make them more a length you like, or you could leave them long. Or, you could even, if you wanted, probably tie them together and make her look like she's holding something. That could be good too. But right now, I think I'm going to just snip that end off a little bit. And this end off just a little bit too. All right. Very good. And then to make it look more like an arm, I'm going to give it a couple ties at the end to cinch it in a little bit. Maybe it makes it look more like you have a hand on the end. Maybe not. Now look, I tied that knot to the front. Oops. But here we go. I'm going to do this side now. Same step, just kind of at the end, give it a little more character, a little more definition. And then there's that. And that. And we're going to snip these little pieces off here in a minute. How about right now? In case anybody out there is going, oh, I just can't take it. Snip those off. Okay, here we go. Oops, almost. And it's fun to watch kids with scissors when they try to snip something. You can give them a lot of pointers, like put the scissors a little further up. Stop trying to use that little end tip part. Uh-oh, let's get that string. And that was another thing that bothered my students when they worked. Some of them was the strings. We got to get those cut. So just in case you're feeling that way, you're not alone. All right, so now we have this, which is pretty much looking like a corn husk doll. And if you wanted, you could separate and make legs, but I'm going to keep mine together because of the way I have folded it. I think it'd just be best. And then I'm going to make her some clothes. It's going to be a she in my head, and I'm going to use paper. I have this nice, sparkly blue paper. And I found if I just cut a rectangle, probably it looks like it was about 6 inches. And this measurement for most everybody is about 6 inches. So it's just really good to know. 6 inches, yes. And I'm going to probably make it about maybe 2 inches wide. Yeah, maybe 2.5 inches wide. Once again, I am not breaking out the ruler or anything. It's just going to have to work. So now I've cut out this lovely piece of paper, and you could use material for sure. It's just that I had this handy and I like it. If you take the paper or your material and you fold it in half and you make a cut in the middle and make a slit there, voila, now you just have a little slit so you can get it over the head. But it's still going to be it needs to be a little wider. So I'm just then going to make that into a triangle there and meet that mark and the triangle on that side. And now I've made a little diamond shape. And then I'm going to just see if it fits over her head. Now, mind you, you can certainly make the heads a little smaller. You can make them a little bigger. You make a whole family of these and you're going to get, just like your family, a big selection. It's pretty cool. So then I'm just going to slip that over her head, and then I'm going to push it down like that. So it kind of makes into like a poncho, let's say. Anybody knows what a poncho is these days. And then we'll go over her like that. And here's the one that I had done yesterday, and I'll give her another tie around so it holds it down. But I thought it turned out well. So we just need one more string. So maybe you cut 7 strings in case they need clothes. Because, oh, here we go. This one I can find the end to. That was very curious yesterday, trying to find the end to that every time. All right, so I'm going to turn her upside down, so I put my knot to the back, even though a knot in front would probably be just fine on this clothing. And tie her in a little bit more, cinch her up. Give her a little more of a figure. Cut those. And then, oh, where did that string come from? Okay, there we go. So now she's looking like that. And that is your corn husk doll. Easy, fun, a little water involved, a different texture to feel. That's good. And talk about the corn. How do we end up with these corn husks? Why did people come up with this idea? You know, so there's a lot of conversation you could have around them too. And I'm going to take mine and I might string them together and kind of make a lovely decoration for the classroom. So I hope you have liked the corn husk doll video. Once again, please like and subscribe. And ZabE will see you next week. Bye, everyone.